Alright, I got the 4 brake rotors cleaned up. Now comes the fun part. I have replaced pads and disc brakes I don't know how many times, and I know what they look like. These don't look like disc brake pads. Okay? They're gray. They're monotone. Disc brake pads are not monotone. They are chromy. They are steel. They're polished steel. Those disc brakes pads polish those discs. So I need to polish them, and I need to slightly groove them. So I'm going to try to figure out how to groove them. And then once they're grooved, I want a primer, and hopefully those grooves maintain. If they don't, I'll have to do it after it's primered. Then I'm going to gloss black them, and then chrome them, and then weather them. The disc pads themselves are going to get painted red, because painting the car red, so the disc pads need to be red. Alright, be back in a bit. I'm going to get going on this. Alright, here I am roughing up the surfaces of the disc, because discs are not perfect on disc brakes. Only when they first come out of the showroom are they perfect. Okay, and I think I'm getting it. Hard to tell. I had to get the camera out to see. This one's looking the way I want it to. You have circular grooves running around the outside edge of the disc. Okay, you can see the difference between that one and that one. That one's definitely got it going. This one's close. This one needs a teeny bit more work. Okay, I'm going to get it. And these two over here, they haven't even started. So I'm going to get back at it. Okay, the only real problem I'm having with doing this is up near where the disc is, the brake itself. It's hard to get that circular pattern simply because of, well, it's in the way. If it wasn't there, I could have stuck this on a drill and spun it and gotten those grooves in there really quick. So I'm not sure how I'm going to solve that. I'm working on it. I'm going to try something. Either way, it's going to look okay to me, I think. I haven't even started on that one, but I've got 3 of them down the way I kind of want them. So let's get this third one, the last one, done. Alright, I tried something on this one. It seems to look a little bit better. I'm going to try it on these over here and see if I can clean up that edge. You can see where the sandpaper got it a little too harsh in a few spots. But this one doesn't have that look. What I'm doing is I'm taking the tip of the sanding stick and just running it around the outside of it. Rolling it along the disc. And it's giving it that groove. Okay? I also have to rough up the edges of these things, because no disc I have ever seen is perfectly smooth on edge like these guys. So they gotta be roughed up. They're also rusty on edge and really nice and clean on the surface. So we're gonna have to duplicate that too. Back in a bit. Now I'm working on removing the suspension parts so I can get them primered up. Just so you can see that here's the end result of my disc brake work. Okay, I even roughed up the edges of them. But that's why I started the camera. The CV joints over here, yeah, if you're looking, you can see it. One of them's broken. Yeah, that worries me a bit. I'm going to go ahead and glue it right here on the sprue and let it cure up overnight before I remove it. Okay? I hear the TV shut off downstairs too, so I'm almost at my limited time up here for the night. I'm going to go ahead and remove some more of these suspension parts and get them some paint, but the detail on some of these parts is just a little on the crazy side when you start looking at it. I can go kind of crazy on some of these with painting. It's not like I haven't already on that crazy engine. Alright? But you guys have seen that. The oil paint's cured up now. I can handle it a little bit better. But anyhow, I'm going to get to work. Back in a bit. I didn't like the paint job on this thing, even after the second run. So, it's not in the purple pond. It's in the alcohol pond. That's the beauty of using Tamiya paints. You can get them off really, really fast by soaking something in alcohol. I mean, look at that paint coming right off there. I mean, I'm not even trying to remove it. Look. I hit this with a rag. I'm going to have no paint on it pretty quick. So I'm going to set the I'm making a nice red mess though. I'm going to set the camera down and get after this. I'm going to use some, I don't want to use some paper towel. Well, it probably wouldn't hurt. But it's coming off here really, really quick. I mean, I'm not even scrubbing on it. And if I do it quick enough, the alcohol won't even hurt the primer that's underneath this thing. So, even though I'm using 91% primer alcohol. So again, that's the beauty of using Tamiya paints. They come off. Boy, howdy do they. I mean, look at this thing. I'm not even scrubbing it. So, just swirling it around. Alright everyone, I'll be back in a little bit. Alright, paint is gone. Stripped right to the bones. That was. Okay? And I'm going to have to do a light sand job on this. But I don't think the primer came off. It doesn't feel like the primer came off because there were some scratch marks on the top up here that are gone. Okay? So the primer didn't come off the car body. But it did come off the hood in places. So I'm going to lightly sand the hood down tomorrow and reprimer it. I'm going to reprimer the car body. Okay, just a really light coat of primer. I didn't put much on there. 91% alcohol will take enamel paint off. It will take lacquer paint off. It will take, obviously, Tamiya paint off. Look how fast that came off there. And I haven't even been up here 5 minutes, and it's gone. Alright, so it'll take chrome off, too. So just keep that in mind when you're looking for some way of removing paint, removing chrome, removing other things. Right there. That'll do it. I'll be back later. This is primer round 2. I took the car body, looked it over real good, found about 4 spots where some dust got to it. So I took some like 10,000 grit sandpaper and sanded the dust out. And then painted it again, did the same thing with the hood, and yeah, your eyes aren't deceiving you right there, some more dust showed up. Even though I'd cleaned everything very carefully and had the air vent running really well beforehand. Not catching a break on that one. I also dropped this while painting. You can see it right there. So I'm going to have to fix a few things one more time before I can give her another color coat. But progress is being made. Suspension's all primered up now and ready to go. Took primer really well. So I can get some color on the suspension now. I'm getting the feeling that once I get all this primer done and all the colors done, I'm just going to put everything together and I'm going to be close to done with it immediately thereafter. Okay? That's a good thing to me, because that Mercury 9 right there still has some work to do. Not too much. I'm getting close. I'll talk to you guys later. Okay, I'm going to remove this imperfection. I haven't shown any of that and what I'm doing to remove it. Second, that piece is taped on there so I get consistent colors. Okay? Consistent spray and consistent colors. It was supposed to be on there and it broke itself free somehow. And it's not getting treated the same and it worries me a little. But anyhow, what I'm going to do to fix that spot is a couple of things. One, I have one of these. Okay? 2, I bought a set of really nice sandpaper at my local Hobby Lobby, and it goes all the way up to 20,000 grit. I think this does about the same thing too. So I'm going to use this because it's just laying here. I'm only going to do with sides 6, 7, 8. I mean 4 and 5, 6, 7. I'm only going to deal with these sides here. I'm not going to deal with the rough sides. You've seen I've used them. Okay? These rough sides over here, yeah, they'll just tear that, my finish right off this. So I'm going to get after this. I will be back in a little bit. Alright everyone, it's time to see how the suspension goes together. Because I'm sure some of you have noticed and may have commented already. There's a seam line running down the middle of that spring. The detail is really nice on it, but yeah, there's a good shot of it. Nice seam line. If that seam line doesn't show, I'm not going to worry about it because it doesn't show from this side at all. So that's what I need to find out. and I need to get after it, and I'm going to see how the suspension goes together real quick. I'm going to test fit it all. I'll be back in a bit. Alright everybody, there's the rear suspension put on there. I need to paint it, yes, and I'm going to very soon. I'm going to detail it some. But those seam lines I was worried about, you get tires on there, you're not going to see them, I don't think. Let me get a tire out and let's see. I have to reach up top. I have to put things out of Thunder Paw's reach, because he runs off with things. It's what he does. He's a fun little critter. Give me a second, I got to remove something from the spring. Here's one of the tires press fit in there. You'll barely be able to see the spring up in there, even if you look hard. So I'm not going to worry about the seam line on that spring. Okay. The rims that came with this car are nice because they're not bright, glaringly chrome like most are. They're kind of a muted chrome effect, which really surprised me. Alright everyone, I'm going to get the painting. I want to get this suspension painted up so I can actually start putting it together and then start working on something else. I'll be back in a bit.